Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is John Campea, and this is a companion video. What are companion videos? Well, I'm awfully glad that you asked. You see, every day on the John Campea Show, Monday through Friday in the mornings, we take time for some live questions, but we don't always have time to get around to all the live questions that get sent in. But I want to make sure those questions get answered properly in a video, so I gather them up and then we address them here on companion videos. And today is Friday, August the 16th. So these questions that we're getting caught up on here now are from this morning's John Campea Show. And let's not waste any more time and dive right into it and start getting caught up. And we're going to start things off here today with Devontae Brown, who writes, I think Obi-Wan show may recreate the mall fight. I doubt it. And here's why. So for those of you who don't know what Devontae's talking about, we talked about this on the John Campea Show earlier today. Variety, Deadline, all the major trades are confirming that Ewan McGregor is in talks with Disney to reprise his role as Obi-Wan Kenobi for an Obi-Wan Disney Plus series. 99% of chance that this is going to go through and it's going to happen. There is a small chance, I suppose, that it doesn't happen. But as of right now, I say it looks pretty damn good that it's going to happen. So a lot of people wondering, well, he's going to fight Kenobi. Here's the problem. Rebels, the animated series, is canon. And in Rebels, we already saw Maul and Obi-Wan face off, right? So you can't do that again. So could you, as Devontae is suggesting, recreate it? Here's the problem with that. If you recreate it, it would literally be a 2-minute scene where Obi-Wan is doing all of his stuff the entire show. Episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's assume it'd be an 8-episode show. I don't know what it would be, but let's assume 8 episodes. Episodes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you get into episode 8, no mention of Darth Maul, nothing. And then all of a sudden Darth Maul pops up out of nowhere, fights for 2 minutes, and it's done. Why would you bother doing that? You know what I mean? Not to mention that fight with Maul takes place just before the events of Star Wars: A New Hope. And I have a feeling that if they do this Obi-Wan show, it'll probably happen a good number of years before the actual events of Star Wars: A New Hope, whereas the Darth Maul and Obi-Wan fight happens fairly close to it, just a couple years away from the events of Star Wars: A New Hope. So problem number one, you would be having Darth Maul literally out of nowhere pop up for a quick 30-second to 1-minute fight, and then they talk for another minute. So about 2 minutes flat, out of nowhere. So that's kind of a problem. Plus, when that fight happens, I think we'll be out of sync for when this new Obi-Wan show will happen. Now, that's not to say it's not possible. I mean, they could go canon schmanon and just redo it anyway. A lot of things are possible. But at this point, I would think that's unlikely. It seems very, very unlikely. There's just not a lot of logical ways to make it work. And again, it would be so out of nowhere and so out of left field and so without purpose to do your whole Obi-Wan series season 1 and then just out of nowhere, for no reason whatsoever, Darth Maul just pops up. Fight, done, Darth Maul dies, and all in 2 minutes. It doesn't seem like that would serve the show. You know what I mean? So it's possible, Devontae, but right now I'm going to say the logic for it doesn't seem to line up right now. So I'm going to guess it's unlikely at this point. Anyway, we will see. We will certainly see. All right. Josh Bing writes, why was everyone saying Ewan was confirmed to return? I fact-checked it myself last night and found the words may return. Well, because most people, and that's why I said on the show this morning, let's be clear, it is not confirmed that he's doing it. Nothing has been made official yet. The reports are saying he is in talks. Now, that means it is most likely going to happen, but it's just in talks. I think the reason a lot of people run with like confirmed and everything is because a lot of people just read a headline. Ewan McGregor to return as Obi-Wan Kenobi. Let's say that's the headline. Well, somebody sees that and goes, oh, that news outlet is confirming that Obi-Wan Kenobi is back there doing the show and Ewan McGregor is going to play him. Well, if you just read the headline, yes. But then if you read the article itself, Obi-Wan, Ewan McGregor to return is really more of an alludement to that he's in talks. It is likely that's going to happen, blah, 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 blah. But that's the problem, right? A lot of people today just read headlines. They read a Twitter header, but don't bother clicking on the link, going and reading the full article to get all the information, and hence it kind of runs wild with that. And it's not uncommon, Josh. It's not uncommon. All right. Terry Giordano writes, assume Obi-Wan series happens. Who directs it? Oh, who knows? And who cares? Really. It'll probably be somebody most of us have never heard of or don't know, and somebody who's got a little bit of experience and somebody who's connected with the world of Star Wars. But at this point, it doesn't really matter. And if they do what most shows do, every episode would probably be directed by a different person. Remember, Mandalorian, every episode's being directed by a different person. That's how most television series work. Not all of them, but that's how most of them work. Because the real people in control are the writers and the showrunners, not the directors. In movies, the directors are in control. In television series, it's the writers and showrunner. It's the main lead showrunner, who's usually one of the writers. They're the ones who are in control, and they will often break up. Every episode will be directed by a different person. That's how they're doing it with Mandalorian. Although I do think Dave Filoni might be directing 2 episodes, but then you've got a plethora of other directors as well. And that's probably what they'll do for Obi-Wan as well. All right. Jack Knight Starman writes, coming 2023, Toy Story live action, Channing Tatum as Woody and Tim Allen as Buzz Lightyear. What is my sources? I have no idea, Jack, but that's an interesting theory, Jack. It's an interesting theory. Stubble McShave writes, over under 50%, Chernobyl wins 10 or more Emmys, 19 noms. I don't know. It depends on which categories it's nominated for. Like, I think Chernobyl probably is the best series of the year. But does that mean it had the best cinematography? It had great cinematography, but I'm not convinced it had the best cinematography. It had great sound design, but I'm not convinced it had the best sound design. It was the best show, but so I really have no idea. So I will go under 50%. I will go under 50% that it wins 10 or more, but it's certainly possible. I'm not saying it ain't going to happen. I'll take the under 50%. Adam K writes, color me surprised. Dora was actually pretty good. And you know what? That's been the kind of common refrain. The last time I checked, let me check it again here. Dora, Rotten Tomatoes. The last time I checked, it was hovering around 80%. And yeah, it's at 82%. Dora the Explorer and the Lost City of Gold. Dora and the Lost City of Gold is sitting at 82%. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Now, most of the critics who are giving it positive scores are saying it's great for kids, but not for adults. Unlike, say, Pixar films, which are great for kids, teens, adults, senior citizens, everybody. But still, look, it's just another example of sometimes the best looking trailers make the crappiest movies, and sometimes the crappiest looking trailers turn out half decent movies. Now, I still have no plans of watching Dora. It just doesn't interest me. But you're right. You're not the only one surprised, Adam. I think a lot of people are coming out and talking about how pleasantly surprised they were that Dora was actually pretty good. So there you go. Trailers are trailers. The movies are the movies. And just because one's good doesn't mean the other's good. And just because one's bad doesn't mean the other's bad. And it's something we got to keep in mind. This was a good lesson and a good reminder for us on that, Adam. All right. Robert Perez writes, have you ever seen the animated Batman movie Hush? I don't think so. I generally don't care much for animated comic book movies, generally speaking. At least not the ones like that are made for straight to home video. I generally find both the Marvel and the DC stuff, for the most part, to be total crap. There are exceptions. But for the most part, yeah, I find their straight to home video stuff completely crap. And I don't go out of my way to watch a lot of it, to be honest. David Sickles writes, saw Zodiac, so good, rewatched it a few days later. Kind of film with so much happening, you need to pay close attention, like The Big Short, also great. My new favorite Fincher film, although Gone Girl is amazing too. Robert Downey Jr. and Gyllenhaal are spectacular. Mom says I need to see Gyllenhaal in Nightcrawler. Oh yeah, Gyllenhaal... Jake Gyllenhaal's best performance is Nightcrawler. Now, that's up for debate. Obviously, that's an interpretive, subjective opinion, but still, to me, without question, Jake Gyllenhaal, whose career is loaded with great performances, Jake Gyllenhaal's best performance is Nightcrawler. As far as Zodiac goes, I like Zodiac. I was never as big of a fan of Zodiac as a lot of other people are, to be honest with you. I like the film. I thought it's good. In the world of thumbs up or thumbs down, I give it a thumbs up. But, you know, it's not in my top 100 or anything like that. I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. But I know some people, man, that just are head over heels in love with that film. Just think it's one of the most brilliant things. And that's great. That's the beauty of the subjectivity of film, is that we all have different experiences with it. I like the film, definitely. Robert Downey Jr. was good in it. I thought Robert Downey Jr. was good in it. Gyllenhaal certainly is quite good. A number of the performances are very solid. It's a solid story, nice ending. I like the ending very much. I thought it was a gutsy ending. But like, I happen to prefer Gone Girl. And I certainly prefer Nightcrawler too. But yes, if you have not seen Jake Gyllenhaal in Nightcrawler, listen to your mother and watch Jake Gyllenhaal in Nightcrawler. I think you'll be very, very happy with it. All right. Cody Howard writes, love listening to the show at work, so thanks. Well, thank you, Cody. I appreciate that. Thoughts on what Benioff and Weiss trilogy will be? Have heard Old Republic, but nothing official. Yeah, I mean, right now it's anybody's guess. There is no official word. It's anybody's guess. My pure fan speculation guess is that it will take place in the Old Republic. Now, don't get me wrong. I actually don't think they're going to take any pre-existing Old Republic stories. Like, to some people, when you say Old Republic, oh, it means this. I don't think it's going to be any of that. I think they're going to set it in the Old Republic era. Again, pure fan speculation on my part, no insider information. I think it's going to be set in Old Republic, but I don't think it's going to be based on any pre-existing, Star Wars Legends stories. I don't think it's going to be based on any pre-existing Star Wars stories. I really don't. I think it'll be set thousands of years before the events of the original Star Wars, and it'll be totally disconnected and have nothing to do with any of the existing stories. And that's the way I think it should be. I think that's what they're going to do, and I'm happy if that's what they're going to do. Don't just recycle all the crap that we've had already. And there's some very, very good crap. Don't get me wrong. There's some very good crap out there. Some very good stuff, but go fresh, clean page, blank page, page one, create a story. And the vast majority of moviegoers out there have no idea about any of the Old Republic stories anyway. So just make something new. So again, though, for all we know, it could be a Jabba the Hutt origin story trilogy, for all we know. But I'm guessing it will be set in the Old Republic, and it will be something completely original. That, at least, is my guess. All right. Samuel Woodward writes, what are your thoughts on companies like Amazon and Netflix putting blocks in place for VPN users? It seems odd to me. Do they lose money from VPNs? Here's the thing. So, as some of you know, like, if you get something like CBS All Access, which is only in the United States of America, right? They'll license it to Netflix in certain international territories, right? And maybe to some other streaming services in other international territories, but they'll license it to Netflix in international territories. But Netflix has a responsibility then to make sure that only people within their territory actually watch it. Netflix then has a responsibility of security because CBS wants people in the United States to subscribe. The reason they make Star Trek Discovery is that so people will subscribe to CBS All Access. Now, they don't have CBS All Access all around the world, so they license out that content to other providers in different countries. But they want people in the US, this territory, to get CBS All Access. So when they go to a Netflix or an Amazon or whatever internationally and say, okay, we'll license our show to you in these countries, but you have to make sure, Netflix, you have to make sure that you have security and precautions in place that only people within your licensed territory that we're granting you a license for will actually access and watch it. What we don't want is for people in the US to go, well, I'll just hop on Netflix Poland using my VPN and watch Star Trek Discovery without paying for CBS All Access. It's incumbent upon Netflix and other licensees to make sure that they have security in place to make sure that that doesn't happen. And that's completely proper. It's completely proper. So, theoretically speaking, do companies lose money from VPNs? Well, yeah. CBS All Access, if there's a bunch of people who are interested in Star Trek Discovery, but instead of paying for CBS All Access, I can just use a VPN, trick the browser to think I'm in Italy, and watch Netflix Italy, where CBS has put on and licensed Star Trek Discovery on there for free, then yes, CBS is losing money. Because now I don't have to subscribe to CBS All Access in order to watch Star Trek Discovery, even though I live in the States. So my thoughts on it, it's proper. It's proper for them to do that. So that's my thoughts on that, at any rate. All right, good question, though, Samuel. Connor Farley writes, King Robert Baratheon says to Warner Brothers, release the damn Tenet teaser before I pee myself. I'll be honest with you. I'm not all that excited for the Tenet trailer. I'm super excited for the movie. I'm super excited for the new Christopher Nolan movie. But it's the first... I read the description. I haven't seen the teaser myself, but I read the description of it. It's basically an announcement teaser. I don't really care. The movie is still forever away. I don't really care. Now, don't get me wrong. I am curious to see it, but I'm not like jumping up and down to watch it because it's just a teaser. It's basically what I would call an announcement trailer. And the movie is forever away. And I'm pumped for the movie, but from reading the description, it's like, it sounds like it's an all right trailer. But I'm not super stoked to see it. But man, I cannot wait for the movie. I cannot wait for the movie. Everything from the talent behind the camera, the talent in front of the camera, the little description about what the theme of the movie is, it all sounds delicious. And I cannot wait to see it. But I can wait to see the teaser. They'll put it out when they put it out. All right, Lone Wolf X6 writes, Crisis, Oliver, so you are real. I thought you were a myth. Flash, I told you Batman's real. Batman, I'm real when it's useful. I don't know. I mean, look, we know Kevin Conroy is going to play an older version of Batman, probably from a different universe or a different dimension or something silly along those lines. But he's not going to be, I don't think he's going to be active Batman. You know what I mean? I don't think they're going to have active Batman in the CW Arrowverse. To me, Oliver always kind of has been the Batman of the CW universe, right? In many ways, Arrow has been the Batman of that universe. The guy with no powers, and yet everybody kind of knows that he's the big kid on the block, right? And I've always loved that. So we'll see, but I don't think we're going to see anybody in a Batman costume. I don't think we're going to see anybody. I don't think we're going to see Kevin Conroy in a Batman costume per se. I think we're going to see him as Bruce Wayne. I don't think we'll see him as Batman. But anything is possible, so let's kind of wait and see what happens. Lone Wolf X6 follows up and writes, Digimon are the champions. Love, Chris. Well, yeah, that's been a big thing. Like Chris the other day, Chris Carr, she sang the theme to Digimon, which I didn't even know was a thing. And now everybody's freaking out about it and everybody loves it. So good on you. I still don't really know what it is. All right, Dirk Diggler writes, humor me, John. Obi-Wan and Dom Toretto are fighting with lightsabers with no force powers. Why would Obi-Wan have no force powers? On Mustafar, Obi-Wan gets to the high part on the mountain and yells, I have the high ground. What would Dom do? Well, it's clear he would yell family. That's it. End of the movie. Family. And that's it. And maybe, I don't know, some of the family come out and get on their hands and knees so Dominic Toretto can stand on their back. So now instead of Obi-Wan being on the high ground, they're on level ground again. I don't know. But I whatever it would mean, at some point, Dominic Toretto would just yell out family and somehow the fight would be even again. All right. Setketh13 writes, the Russo brothers' Marvel films are my favorite 4 MCU movies. I would really like to see them doing a Star Wars movie. What do you think they would bring to the table if they were to do a Star Wars movie? Quite frankly, I'm not interested in them doing a Star Wars movie, to be honest with you. I don't think that's a good fit. Now, don't get me wrong. If they were to announce tomorrow that the Russo brothers are doing a Star Wars movie, hey, you know what? As long as it's talented directors, I think the Russo brothers are talented filmmakers, so that's then fine. But if you're going to ask me in advance, is that one I'm particularly interested in? Honestly, no. I don't see it as a good fit. I really don't. And I'll be straight up honest with you guys. So far, and then remember, I love the Russo brothers. Okay, I love them. They've come into my studio on multiple occasions. They've always been very generous with their time. I love Winter Soldier. I love Civil War. I love Infinity War. I really like Endgame. Don't get me wrong. I love these guys. So don't twist my words here. I love the Russo brothers. All right. But these are also the same guys who did You, Me, and Dupree. Right now, I haven't seen, I'm not saying it's not going to happen. All right. I'm just saying right now, I have not seen evidence yet, that they can deliver films on that level without Kevin Feige. That's all I'm saying right now. I'm not saying they can't do it. I'm not saying they won't do it. I'm just saying where we sit right now, I've not seen them prove that they are capable of delivering movies on that level without Kevin Feige there. That's all I'm saying. And I think even if you're the biggest fans in the world of the Russo brothers, of which I like to count myself amongst those numbers, I think even if you're amongst the biggest Russo brothers fans, you would admit, okay, that is the context right now. True. We have not seen them make a great movie without Kevin Feige. We have not seen them make a huge blockbuster without Kevin Feige. We have not seen them make a record-breaking movie without Kevin Feige. We have not seen them make a movie that broke the pop cultural madness without Kevin Feige. They've done You, Me, and Dupree without Kevin Feige. And again, don't twist my words. I'm not saying they're incapable of it. I'm not saying they won't do it. And I'm not saying they can't do it. All I'm saying is that right now we haven't seen that. So stylistically, on top of the fact that aside from working with Kevin Feige, I haven't seen them do anything other than You, Me, and Dupree. So they wouldn't be my top choice, to be honest with you. Again, though, I think they're good directors. I think they're wonderful guys. I am forever in their debt for giving us Civil War. Oh my God, I love that movie. I think Civil War is still probably my favorite movie they made. What? Not Endgame? No, not Endgame. I like Endgame very much, but I think Civil War is, let's put it this way. I don't think Endgame is one of the top 5 best comic book movies ever made. It's great, and I enjoy it very much. But I do think Civil War is a top 5 video game. I do think Civil War is a top 5 comic book movie of all time. And Winter Soldier, there are some people who think Winter Soldier might be the best comic book movie of all time, period. I mean, those movies are amazing, and Infinity War is great, and Endgame is great, and they've done great stuff. But can they do it without Kevin Feige? If I had to put $100 on it, I would guess yes, but we don't know yet, right? We don't know yet. I'd put my money on yes. I'm not going to bet against them. I think they're great, but we got to see it, and we will now see it pretty soon. Because now they're taking a break from Marvel and Marvel's taking a break from them. I'm sure they'll be back at some point and they're going to make some films on their own. I think they got something coming with Tom Hardy or Tom Holland, as a matter of fact. And I'm excited for it. But let's see what happens. But honestly, it wouldn't be one of the first 10 director sets on my lips to come out and say Star Wars, to be honest with you. But again, and you know what? It's funny. Here's the reality of the internet. It doesn't matter how many times I say, don't twist my words. I think they're great. I'm not saying they're not capable of doing fantastic stuff without Feige. I would put money on it that they will. You know, there are still going to be some people that send me messages on social media going, how come you're saying that the Russos aren't any good, John? That's just the way the reality is. No matter how many times I try to explain it, that's what's going to happen. But, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. All right, guys, that will do it. We are now all caught up on all the leftover questions from this morning's show. Thank you to all you guys who sent in those questions, not just because you gave us great fun things to talk about, but also because you supported the channel while you were doing it. And I thank you very much for that. Don't forget, guys, it's now the end of the week. So I hope you have a fantastic weekend. And this weekend, we do have a couple of videos we're going to be doing. We've got open mic both on Saturday and Sunday. So come on by and talk about anything you guys want to talk about in the world of movies and entertainment. That's what we're going to do. And then on Monday, the John Campea Show returns with me, Chris Carr, and of course, the great Mr. Robert Meyer Burnett. I hope you guys will join us there for that. Hey, listen, guys, while you're here, why don't you do me a favor? Take a second, click on the subscribe button, become a subscriber to this YouTube channel. Also, if you enjoy these types of videos, whether you agree with my opinions or not, if you enjoy these types of discussions and ideas, give the video a thumbs up and make sure you leave a comment in the comment section. Give me your opinions on any or all the topics that we discussed here today. All right, guys, that will do it for me for now. Thanks so much for being here. My name's John Campea, and until my next video, bye-bye.